Welcome back to another episode of On the Subject. I'm your host, Michael Vilardo, co-founder of Subject.com, Subject.ai. You know where to find us here. We're back on our home turf, but we have a road guest in Southern California from Iredell-Statesville, the Chief Secondary Academic Officer, Kelly Cooper. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, we're super excited to have you here, and it's great to have you in Southern California. What do you think for you is what drew you in education, though? We always love to be able to start there. What made you want to help kids?
I knew from the time I was in second grade that I wanted to be a teacher.
I love that.
And as I got older, I went into business first. I actually have an accounting degree.
Amazing.
But my heart was always, it called me back to education. I began training people that were in my bank at the time. I worked for Bank One. And I knew that's where my heart was. So the day that I stepped into my first classroom, it was home. I knew that's where I was supposed to be.
And so when you think about the impact you've been able to have on so many young people, what have you seen change the most since when you got into education through 2025? What do you think is different about your students?
Our students are definitely more in tune to the digital world. Most of them have never lived without having an iPad or having...
That's true. Spoiled is a good experience.
Yes, but it's made them it makes them a different consumer. They are definitely consumers of digital content, and they expect for it to be incorporated into the classroom as well. So I think that back in the day, I think a lot of times our kids were ritually compliant, and now our kids expect a different experience.
When you think about the dawn of media, social media, et cetera, the 2000s, and maybe even the early 2010s, what's it like emotionally and behaviorally for your students versus earlier days? Is it more difficult to manage them with some of the competing distractions? Or what have you found around the emotional behavior of young people today?
Unfortunately, with all the good things that technology brings, and I was a technology teacher, I love technology, but it has also not allowed the kids to unplug when they go home. In the early 2000s, if they went home, they could leave whatever drama was going on behind them, and now it follows them home. So I think they do have a lot more social emotional needs with that, and it's really important for us to be able to teach them how to navigate that world.
I completely agree, and you said it really well there, like you leaving it at the school. Now, if you have a difficult click or bullying situation, there's such a cyberbullying prevalent, and it's really sad. And it's on us as educators to be able to help these students and be able to figure out how we can make them the most successful in life. And you're a chief academic officer, chief secondary academic officer. What is the most important thing that you look for in rigor and educational experience? How have you been able to build out the curriculum at your school?
We are really focused on depth of knowledge and making sure that what we're asking students to know and be able to do really matches the state standards, which the state standards go much further than what they did when I was in school, where a lot of it was direct recall. Now you're expected to be able to do something with the information or synthesize that information. And it's really important to help kids know how to discern what's true and correct, and to be able to be really good consumers of the information that comes at them, because we have a lot of misinformation that comes to us as well, and helping kids be able to look and say, what's your source? Where did you find this? Is that a trusted, reliable source?
And so for you, when you think about educating students in North Carolina today and all the incredible companies that are based there, the research triangle between Raleigh, Durham, that area is incredibly well advanced technologically. What have you brought as a technology teacher from some of the incredible trends in the state to Iredell-Statesville?
Since my time there, we've become a one-to-one district. And
Fantastic. Congratulations on that. It's a big accomplishment.
we were one of the Race to the Top districts. We won one of the Race to the Top grants.
Oh, amazing.
And so I participated in helping to write that. So we spent a lot of time teaching our folks how to actually use blended learning so that we know how to incorporate technology in the appropriate times. You don't need technology all of the time, but you need it when it's appropriate. That's really been a focus this year with our secondary teams, is going back to the basics of good blended learning so that teachers don't use the computer as a replacement for a worksheet, but that they're actually using it to help students reach those higher levels of rigor with DOK.
Fantastic. And I really appreciate your thoroughness. And the one thing we always do it subject to express gratitude for educators like yourself and being able to continue to learn how we can make our product better. But how can you give a shout out to either a student or a teacher that impacted you most in your career? How can we thank them into the camera?
I would say thank you to Dr. Kendra Bogus, who is president of Concord University in West Virginia. She actually she was my college mentor, and she was also my business teacher back in the day. And she had so much influence in how I taught. She also introduced me into HTML programming language
Oh,
and had us on the ground floor of moving technology forward. So I would give her a big shout out.
shout out. We all hear it in education that teachers and coaches are the ones that impact more than anybody else in society. They're the heroes of society. And it's great to thank you for everything you've done, but also to hear who was that for you and inspired you to be able to lead and impact young people. And for that, please subscribe, YouTube, Spotify. We're trying to be able to bring more light to these incredible educators. And thank you so much for an incredible episode today. It was so much fun.
Thank you.